Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 416 of the podcast. This is a bonus episode. I'm so excited to be here with you today. It's going to be a shorty, but it's going to be good. So stay tuned and be really present, especially if you are a people pleaser. This is going to really resonate for you. So today's episode is breaking down the emotional eating and binge trigger people pleasing. Okay. So people pleasing is totally a huge catalyst to fuel binge and emotional eating. And I'm going to dive into that right away. Just friendly reminders, all the details for today's episode can be found at amberapproved.ca/podcast/416 or below in the description if you're watching on YouTube, because I, of course, record the video as well. Just a friendly reminder, if what I'm really talking about today is resonating for you and you are wanting to dive into a really high level of transformative support to overcome binge and emotional eating fully, among many other things like releasing protection in a healthy way, improving digestion, reducing bloating, boosting energy levels, becoming more in touch with your body, building more confidence and peace of mind, stopping the people pleasing, etc., then you're in the right place. And this is where we have one-on-one support, as well as the Body Freedom Unleashed group program, which is starting mid-June, available. And just a friendly reminder, we have the early bird bonuses of the Body Freedom membership, as well as the food prep bundle for Body Freedom Unleashed, available until Monday, June 5th. So if you want to take advantage of coming into this group program, which is all about helping you overcome binge and emotional eating in a group setting, then make sure you go to amberapproved.ca, click the banner which says Body Freedom Unleashed, and it will take you to learn more about all the details. You get all the early bird bonuses and pricing of $889 USD off the program until June 5th. So if you have questions, reach out, info@amberapproved.ca, or you can book a 30-minute Body Freedom call if you want to talk about support. We can get you on the right path. So let's dive into today, breaking down the emotional eating trigger, people pleasing. It's a binge eating trigger too. I always refer to both. And side note, super cool. I have the #1 emotional eating podcast on this one app. And it was like, wow, that's really cool. So thank you for all of you for listening. I'm so glad so many of you are here. I hope it's helping you. This is the whole point of me being here. So let's dive into this. So how is people pleasing a binge and emotional eating trigger? Well, let's break down the different reasons why. So #1, let's look at, well, why do we people please? And it's okay if you're in this, no shame in the game, but it's just the more you understand it, the more you can start shifting it, right? So are you a people pleaser? People pleasing looks like saying yes to others and no to yourself, saying yes because you feel obligated, saying yes because you fear other people judging you. Otherwise, you fear conflict. You fear people getting upset with you if you say no. You need validation from others because you put your worth and their opinions of you at a higher value of what you view yourself as. And when we feel unworthy and we put our worth in other people's hands, we must people please and do what they want us to do to get that approval and that complimenting and that validation from them, or we will never feel whole and complete, which means we're completely out of our power. So when we are people pleasing, we are saying yes to others and no to ourselves. Where does this come from? Well, it comes, what's below people pleasing? I don't feel good enough. I don't feel worthy. So we do it to try and get affirmation and validation from others that we're good enough because we don't know how to give it to ourselves, right? It almost becomes an addiction to people please and to continue to rely on other people's validation for a short term, oh, thank goodness I did this for them, and they're happy with it, so everything's good, right? Versus if you just know you're worthy and you're good enough, you don't have to people please, and it would save you so much time and energy, right? So we people please because we get into the habit of doing so, and then we think it's normal to do so, even if it's causing us to be so overbooked and overwhelmed that we have no time for ourselves. People pleasing may have been an inherited behavior from your parents, right? Maybe they're people pleasers. Maybe they taught you growing up that it's very wrong and bad and selfish to put yourself first. You must take care of everyone else first. And maybe it's frowned upon to make yourself a priority. All of these kinds of things fuel the behavior of people pleasing. Okay. And then what ends up happening when we're people pleasing regularly, you're overbooked. Your nervous system's probably overwhelmed. You're spread too thin. Right? And as you're spread too thin and you're overwhelmed and overbooked, it gets very emotional. You may feel you have a shorter fuse, that you react to things more easily, smaller things that you normally wouldn't. Maybe you look at your schedule and you want to cry because there's so much on your plate. Are you that person? Right? You have little to no time for yourself. You are the bottom of your priority list. You wish you would do self-care. You want to go to bed earlier, but you don't. And then you're busy, you're frazzled, you're overwhelmed, you're not taking time for yourself, you're dehydrated, you're eating on the run, you're mindlessly eating and multitasking, or by the end of the day, you're so overwhelmed, you're so burnt out, you're so drained that you're just like, I need a quick escape, I need a quick break. And then you go to food. And that's your quick little escape. And you get your dopamine high. It feels so good. There's this euphoria, this pleasure, this, oh, it tastes so good that you temporarily feel. It temporarily numbs and distracts you from feeling all the overwhelm and stress you're feeling about the overbooking, worrying about what other people are going to think of you, right? Because you're having this dopamine high. And you chase the dopamine high, you chase that quick fix little experience. But the problem is once all that's over and reality sets back in, and now you're bloated and you're puffy and you're brain fogged and your clothes don't fit good, and now you're afraid you've gained weight, and now you're like, oh my God, I did that again. And you feel the guilt, the regret, the anger, the sadness, the hopelessness of when will this ever end, right? All of that really kicks up. And as that occurs, it just gets really disheartening that we're in this space where, you know, is it ever going to change, right? And then you get more tired and more fatigued and more overwhelmed, and you're so out of touch with yourself and your body and your intuition, and you don't trust yourself in the decisions that you make. And you wish you could set boundaries. You look at people who are setting boundaries and stopping people pleasing. You're like, I just wish I could be like that person. They're so brave, but I'm too afraid, right? When really you can do it too. But the fear, the false evidence appearing real, the ego tries to convince you that you can't ever change, because if you stop people pleasing, if you said no, if you set a healthy boundary, you would fear the other person rejecting you, judging you, abandoning you, getting upset with you, creating conflict. And a people pleaser does not want conflict. But who's to say it's ever going to create conflict? Oftentimes when we set loving boundaries, most people be respectful. The people that aren't going to be respectful and that are going to give you a reaction, well, are those, you get to question, is this someone I want to spend a lot of my time with if they're not going to be supportive, right? And sometimes it just takes some getting used to. If you've been a lifetime people pleaser and now you're changing, people aren't used to it, right? And some people, unfortunately, will take advantage of people pleasers, and that's not okay. You don't deserve to be taken advantage of, right? But people pleasing overwhelms the nervous system. It surges our cortisol up really high, and that's your stress hormone. And the more high that is, the more it increases your chances of cravings for sugar, refined carbohydrates, and salt. The more it throws your appetite levels off and your blood sugar, and often will be more hungry in these kinds of states. The more it fuels the desire to overeat or not be fully sure of, what full feels like, or even if you eat a good meal, you don't feel satiated and then you overeat, right? And then when we're constantly in the state of stress and fearing what other people are going to think, and was that good enough? And I really wish I could say no to this, but I can't. I'm afraid to say no, and I feel obligated to do this, and blah, 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 blah. Right. So that just keeps overwhelming your nervous system, surging this cortisol through your body, fueling your cravings and fueling appetite irregularities. And then, of course, it just makes it easier to go to the food. I'm craving this. Who cares? I don't care. I'm tired. I'm going to eat it. I'm overwhelmed and worried about if this is going to be good enough for this person. So I'm going to just eat, right? The numbing, the coping, the comfort, the safety blanket, the soother, right? There's so many reasons we go to food. When really, if instead what we did was got really lovingly honest with ourselves and go, wow, I'm a people pleaser. And now I'm aware, and now I'm seeing how it's fueling my binge and emotional eating issues. It's fueling me to be drained, which is a trigger. I'm tired, which pushes me into the I don't care mentality. I'm going to eat whatever I want, which pushes me into the I'm so busy and overwhelmed, I deserve a reward, I'm going to go to food, which pushes the cravings trigger and the irregular appetite trigger. And when we're tired, our appetite levels are usually more increased, and then we overeat. Right. And the more you people please and the more overbooked you are, the more disconnected and out of touch you are with yourself, your emotional health, your ego, your intuition, all these aspects of you. And then, of course, we continue to rely on needing to be booked up and giving to others because it's our comfort zone and it feels familiar. And what feels uncomfortable is learning how to overcome people pleasing, is saying no, is learning healthy ways to cope with our emotions without food, right? Is learning that it's safe and actually really healthy to set good boundaries. Boundaries are healthy for both parties. It's actually a really, really, really good thing. And we've been taught that it's not when it is. And in order to really, balance the body and get where you want to go with your physical and emotional health, etc., there is some level of balance that we want to attain. And we get to do that as we make this shift. So the more you deal with the people pleasing, the more your nervous system regulates, the calmer you are, the more balance you have in your schedule, the more time you have to get better sleep, eat more mindfully, more hydration, start building those self-care practices and that beautiful self-care time for you. The more grounded you are, the more likely you are to be able to catch your triggers and work through them, and or stop using food because now you're seeing that, wow, like I can see how I was using that as a crutch, but it's not actually serving me. There's so many benefits of actually being willing to take the time to work through your emotional eating triggers and understanding what they are and building awareness around them so that you can start shifting and changing them. This is the power that you have. This is what I'm here to help you with, to educate you on, help you build awareness, to let you know you're not alone if you're in this, but that there's so much more incredible life experience for you on the other side of actually being willing to work on the people pleasing and take your power back and take your power back from the binge eating and the emotional eating triggers. This is why I'm here. So this is what we get to do, right? I want you to take a moment and envision what it could feel like to say no when it's really a no, and yes when it's a yes. To not let your ego justify why you have to and that you don't have a choice. I want you to envision what it would feel like to set a healthy boundary and like give to yourself too, and have time for you and not feel guilty to take time for you, but instead feel like I'm important too, I matter, and I'm worthy for this. And imagine what it would feel like to look at your schedule and not panic or freak out or cry and just be like, you know what? I'm excited for the week. I'm excited to go about my day. I'm grateful for my body. I'm so happy that I'm not using food as a coping mechanism anymore. I'm so happy that I have healthy tools. I'm so happy that I have balance and that I know how to set a healthy boundary now. And I'm so well respected by myself and others for it. Like soak that in. You all deserve that. And some of you may do that on your own, and some of you may reach out for support. So if this is resonating for you and you're really loving what I'm talking about, and you know that for you, your next step is reaching out for support, I have the door open. I have open arms. Welcome. I'm so excited to connect with you and talk to you about what path feels best for you. So of course, one-on-one coaching is available. And within that, I usually offer a 4, 6, or 12-month program with a very high level of support and lots of different things in that to help you on your journey to food and body freedom, to overcoming the people pleasing, the emotional and binge eating triggers, the gut and hormone issues, the confidence and the ego mindset mastery, and so much more. So you can book a 30-minute body freedom consult at amberapproved.ca. And then we have Body Freedom Unleashed, which is the group form of support to help you overcome your binge and emotional eating triggers, deal with the people pleasing, ego mastery, and so much more. So for that, if you have questions, you're welcome to email info@amberapproved.ca. You can also book a 30-minute body freedom consultation, and you can just sign up for the program. Just go to amberapproved.ca. You'll see the banner there right on the homepage, Body Freedom Unleashed, or you can also go to the show notes for today's episode at amberapproved.ca/podcast/416, and all the details will be there. Early bird pricing, early bird bonuses, all the details of what you get, 2 monthly sessions, a 90 and 60-minute live session and Q&A, all the different topics we're going to be covering, all the tools, bonuses, worksheets, the Voxer Access, which is the voice text app to support you between your live sessions and give you coaching and support. It's a very high level of support. And it is a program that will change your life forever, just like one-on-one coaching. So it just depends if you prefer group or one-on-one. So I am so excited to connect with you, whoever you are that is ready. I know there are some of you listening that are. Just giving you the little love nudge that it's safe for you to reach out. It's safe for you to come forth, and it's safe for you to heal this. So I hope you've enjoyed today's mini bonus episode. As always, everything is available at amberapproved.ca, from the free emotional eating quiz to Body Freedom Unleashed and so much more. So as I always say, there's no better time than the present to take action on your health. So take action now. I'm sending you so much love. I'm cheering you on. Thank you for being here. I can't wait to meet those of you that reach out to be in Body Freedom Unleashed and one-on-one coaching. And otherwise, have a great rest of your day, a great rest of your week. And I will look forward to sharing a whole new episode with all of you beautiful souls on Sunday.